This week in news surrounding Israel, we pause to honor the lives lost, the families torn apart, and the enduring heartache caused by the Holocaust. So stay tuned, friends, for all the details. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to this week's newscast. I'm Robert Gottslig, your host. And while many people around the world, including all of us here at the Friends of Israel Gospel Ministry, paused this past Monday on International Holocaust Remembrance Day to honor the lives lost, the families torn apart, and the enduring heartache caused by the Holocaust, well, we were remembering that Irish President Michael D. Higgins, in his Holocaust Day speech on Sunday, chose to focus on, and in his words, the horrific loss of life in Gaza. Yep, have a look.
It is to be hoped, I believe, that those in Israel who mourn their loved ones, those who have been waiting for the release of hostages, or the thousands searching for relatives in the rubble in Gaza, will welcome the long overdue ceasefire for which there has been such a heavy price paid. The grief inflicted on families by the horrific acts of October 7th and the response to it is unimaginable. The loss of civilian life, the majority women and children, their displacement, loss of homes and necessary institutions for life itself. How can the world, and I often ask, continue to look at the empty bowls of the starving? The current agreement must end the killing, but as a matter of urgency deliver the massive scale-up in humanitarian need which is urgently needed to save more lives. It is important that all remaining hostages are released and that all phases of the agreement are fully implemented. It is to be hoped that the agreement will not only bring an end to the horrific loss of life and destruction which has taken place, but that it will also mark the beginning of the meaningful discussions, the sustained diplomatic initiatives which have been missing from the international community with tragic consequences.
The Times of Israel reported that during his speech, several protesters stood with their backs facing Higgins throughout his speech, while others left the room in protest of his participation. And as you can see here in this video, several people, including an Israeli-Irish woman, were forcibly removed from the room. And certainly not what you would expect to see at a Holocaust Remembrance Day. The Times of Israel further went on to report that Higgins has repeatedly accused Israel of conflating criticism of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu with anti-Semitism and has rejected accounts from Irish Jews of skyrocketing anti-Jewish sentiment. Some have accused Higgins of helping fuel anti-Semitism due to his harsh censure of Israel over the war in Gaza and unwillingness to tackle the issue. Have a look for yourself at how he has zero compassion for Israel, even though they have been in a fight for their life on 7 fronts, and 8 if you include the media. Have a look.
I think it is a very serious business to actually brand a people because, in fact, they disagree with Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is in breach of so many bits of international law, and who has breached the sovereignty of 3 of his neighbours in relation to Lebanon and Syria, and who would like, in fact, actually to have a settlement in Egypt. I think to suggest that because one criticises Prime Minister Netanyahu, that one is anti-Semitic, is such a gross defamation and slander. Where I have to say that originally, when I was accepted credentials, I put it down to lack of experience, but then I saw later that it was part of a pattern to damage Ireland.
You know, Higgins and others like him think that you can be anti-Israel without being anti-Semitic. And I say, no, you cannot. One leads to the other. And we have seen that firsthand in all the hateful pro-Palestinian protests that happened and continue to do so all around the world. And now with Higgins seizing the opportunity on a Holocaust Remembrance Day to lecture Israel in the horrific demonic war that Hamas started, shame on him and all those that think that way. Truth is, friends, that on October 7th, 2023, it has been described as a modern-day Holocaust and will tragically be remembered as the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Higgins should know better. He should know better. And so, friends, I would implore you in these challenging times to comfort God's chosen people, as he commands us in Isaiah chapter 40, verses 1-2. Let me read that for you. God says, "Comfort, yes, comfort my people, says your God. Speak comfort to Jerusalem and cry out to her that her warfare is ended, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins." Whoa. So let our acts of love, rooted in the name of Jesus, Israel's Messiah, proclaim not only that we remember the Holocaust and October 7th, but that we are committed to ensuring such atrocities never happen again. And so, yes, we remember.